Hello, my loves. This is 𝐂𝐳𝐶. Welcome. Today, I want to talk about the difference between wishing for something and waiting for something, and how that can create a powerful difference in actually manifesting it. Now, we all know that all manifestation begins with the simple belief that it's possible to create something new and desired through thought. But before we talk more about that, we have to get real and talk about why we don't manifest what we want if it's just this simple. You've probably asked yourself, if I just have to think it into being, then why isn't my life the way I want? And I love to teach about this. In fact, I named my business, as you know, thoughtpaintherapy, because we all need to recognize the link between our thoughts and the pain, suffering, and lack of our lives in order to manifest what we want. And if we don't learn how to change this, well, then we continue to live yesterday's life tomorrow, re-experiencing the same discontent, pain, and unhappiness. And this is because without awareness, the thoughts we hold become the beliefs we hold. And if, for instance, we hold ourselves or our circumstances as victims of chaos, bad genes, a troubled childhood, bad luck, etc., it's impossible to change our lives into what we want until we learn how to change our thoughts. Or, as Einstein would say, we're not going to solve the problem with the same level of consciousness that created it. Now, this is more complex than it sounds, and it often takes some excavation. Because even knowing this, we all unconsciously choose thoughts that cause us pain instead of pleasure. So why would anyone do this? Well, based on my psychological training, my spiritual connections, and my own personal physical experiences with pain, I've come down to two primary reasons behind this. And the first is relatively simple. We focus on our pain or displeasure because we think more about what we have than what we want. Now, you may think you do the opposite. You might say, I think about what I want all the time, and I still don't have it. And I believe you, because I do the same as well. We're all constantly thinking about what we want. However, the question that I want to ask you to ask yourself is, do you think about it more than you think about the struggle or the pain that you're currently in or the things you lack? Now, the difference between what we have and what we want is the contrast of our lives that feeds our desires. We have something we don't want, and that spurs a desire for something we do want. However, if we don't immediately get it, or it doesn't immediately change, then we generally go back to thinking about how miserable or unfulfilled we are with what we have. Imagine that you or someone you love has been injured, or heaven forbid, are struggling with an illness or a disability. In our discomfort or misery, we might have dreamed or prayed for something different. But we likely do that while simultaneously focusing on how miserable we are. We wish we felt better. And in doing so, we often think regretful or resentful thoughts. And I know this because I have been there. Before I was able to find the path that I used to personally heal my incurable and crippling autoimmune disease, I thought a lot about how miserable I was. I thought about it every morning, every evening, and every freaking moment in between when I wasn't distracted by something else. I thought about what made me unhappy more than I imagined what would make me happy, because that seems so far away. And that's what we do. We focus on what we have, what's real, what's right in front of us, what we're experiencing in the now more often than what we want. And thus, it is hard to believe that it's going to happen because it hasn't yet. And that's the first reason. Now, recently, Spirit told me another reason why we focus on our lack more than our desire is that we crave sympathy. Now, I have to tell you that if they would have said that to me several years ago, I would not have received it well. I saw sympathy as a negative thing that meant I was seeking pity, and I was doing this intentionally by choice. I would have thought it meant I was weak. But I know now that it was never something I really understood is seen as a surrogate for love. The emotion of sympathy, they said, is really a byproduct of our society and is produced by us all as regularly as toxins are released into the air, the water, the soil. It's the subconscious refrain of a soul being humanized. We feel sorry for ourselves and others. We unconsciously recognize how confined and restricted we are from the moment we arrive in these new bodies. Hence, our first breath becomes a moment of sympathy mixed with love. We have sympathy for all those we've chosen to care about who exist without what we have, or those that in our minds are suffering in some way or another. Now, they went on to say that what we don't realize is that every moment of suffering is a choice, even if it doesn't appear to be. Pain doesn't have to be noticed or remarked upon. It doesn't even have to be felt or acknowledged. In fact, pain is often arising because what we really want is sympathy. We want to be loved. We want to be understood. We want someone to care for us, or simply for life to not seem so hard all the time. We want what we perceive as fairness. We want life to be different than it is. Often, we simply want to be able to freaking prioritize our health and beingness over our productivity and doingness. And life doesn't seem to make time for that. So we continue to want something different in our lives while we continue to think the same thoughts, hold the same beliefs, say the same refrains, and have the same behaviors. And unsurprisingly, nothing changes. To change our lives, we have to change our thoughts. There's no other way to go about it. Even if we were to win the lottery, we would still be the same person, just in more luxurious surroundings. And eventually, the tenor of our thoughts of lack or pain would find a way to change our circumstances negatively until we manifested again what we believed in. Regardless of our wishes, we will always have what we believe is possible, regardless of whether it's actually what we really want. We need to shift into the belief that everything we desire is not only possible, it's already on its way right now. Not tomorrow, not next week or next year. The universe, God, creator, quantum energy, whatever you want to call the force that's within us all and guides the energy of matter, this force already knows and holds what you desire. Why? Because you've wished for it for as long as you've noticed its lack. However, have you ever done more than just wish? Have you believed it was coming? Have you truly waited for it to arrive? Or have you argued and complained about why it hasn't? Have you ever known, despite what others might believe, or you might have feared, that your dreams were already a reality? They just haven't knocked on your door yet. Well, we all need to stop just wishing and start faithfully waiting. Start focusing on the having of your desires more than the lack of not having them. Start focusing on every second that you're truly happy rather than on the times you're not. Focus on every magical moment in your life until it becomes your daily expectation of delightful, powerful coincidences and opportunities, until you can't help but notice that things are working out for you. And when they do, they're not a fluke. They're just the beginning of what that you have been waiting for. That surprising moment of happiness? Yes, more of that is coming. That time you got out of bed and you weren't in pain for 30 seconds? Yes. Next time it's going to be a full minute. That time you were distracted from loneliness? Yes. Someone to share your life with is coming, and until they do, you're enough. More money in your account than you expected? Yeah, that's the new norm, because things also cost less than you imagine. Fill yourself with gratitude each and every instant that you possibly can, and the universe will provide you more opportunities to be grateful. Make moments in your day to believe that what you want is already on its way, and all you have to do is wait for it. Wait for it. It's coming to you. Believe, and then believe some more, until despite what's occurring at this moment, despite what you see, despite what you feel, you know that the next moment holds unlimited potential for everything you desire. So let's stop wishing for it and instead start waiting for what you want. Believe in it. You are magical, and whether or not it's clear to you, you're worthy. Thank you for joining me today. I'll go and see if there's any comments. That is so important. Suffering is a choice. Yeah, that's what they said. Think the same thoughts and expect a different outcome. Don't we all do that every day, unconsciously at least? I love that. Focusing on belief and knowing that the universe is already providing all you want, and then just wait for it. Just wait for it. You don't even need to wish for it anymore, because it's already coming. Just wait for it. Thank you so much. You're welcome. All right, everyone, I love you. And whether you're watching this live or later, you can always leave me a comment, and I'll always come back and check on it. Or you can DM me, and we can talk. Okay? Take care of yourself for me, and wait for it. Oh, I try not to only see what I want, but bring in the feelings of what that gift would give me. Yes, exactly, right? And when you fill yourself with the feelings of that gratitude, that happiness, that joy, that peace, that ease, well, it's coming. Honey, if you're feeling it, it is coming. So you don't even have to wish for it anymore. You can just wait for it. I love you. It's good to see you on here. Okay. Bye, my loves.